There are two types of circulation, systematic and pulmonary. Systematic is the circulation of blood through the organs and tissues, but not including the lungs. Pulmonary is circulation of blood to and from the lungs, only for the purpose of receiving oxygen.
Okay, the types of blood vessels. First, it leaves the heart, then it goes to the arteries, then to the arterioles, then the capillaries, which are gas exchange, then it goes to venules, then it goes to veins, and then it goes back to the heart. Arteries. The arteries transport blood away from the heart. Arteries carry oxygenated blood to the body. Arteries carry disoxygenated blood to the lungs.
Want me to do
Now do the whole section. Arteries are typically the most muscular of blood vessels and actually contract to pump blood. There are three layers of arteries: the tunic intima, the tunic media, and tunic externa. The tunic intima, it has the epithelial tissue. The tunic media has smooth tissue. Tunic externa mostly fibers connect tissue. The space inside the arteries where blood flow is called the lumen.
lumen?
Lumen.
Lumen. Am I doing main arteries?
Sure.
Okay. The main arteries are aorta, pulmonary, femoral, carotid, and brachial. Aorta is the main artery from the heart to the body. Pulmonary is blood from the heart to the lungs. Femoral is the main artery in the legs. Carotid is the main arteries in the neck. Brachial is in the arms. Are we doing arterioles too?
You wanna?
Sure. Arterioles are the smallest arteries, only 0.5 millimeters wide, and they lead to capillaries. Capillaries are only 1 cell thick. Red blood cells travel single filed through these capillaries. Oxygen and carbon dioxide often diffuse the capillary walls and enter neighboring cells.
Where are you? Okay. The venules are the smallest of veins. Lead from capillaries to cell, begin the journey of blood back to the heart. The veins return blood to the heart, eventually into either left or right atrium. From the body's superior and inferior vena cava, which is deoxygenated. From the lungs' pulmonary veins, oxygenated, contains the 3 tonic layers but are much thinner than arteries. They also contain low pressure due to the larger lumen space inside. Blood flow is regulated by one-way valves that prevent backflow. Main veins. The first main vein is inferior vena cava. Then is superior vena cava. Then is jugular veins. After that, saphenous veins. Then is basilic veins, and then pulmonary veins. Superior vena cava brings blood to the heart from upper parts of the body.
About 6 minutes.
Oh, I skipped that one. The inferior vena cava brings blood to the heart from the lower parts of the body. Jugular veins are the main veins in the neck. Saphenous veins are the veins from the legs. Basilic veins are from the arm. Pulmonary veins are from the lungs.
Yeah,
I had to think I was gonna say heart. All right.
The shape and length of the heart varies in correlation to the size of the chest cavity. For typical male, it weighs about 310, and for female, it's 225. Full size reaches between late which is between late adolescence and 25 years of age. There's usually an average of 70 milliliters of blood pumped per beat in the heart. Heart location is located in the mediastinum, I believe. It's area between the lungs, and it's slightly left center, and it has about 3 layers of coverings, probably for protection. The heart fits against the left lung in the cardiac notch. 4 types of heart coverings, I believe it's 4. The pericardium, epicardium, myocardium, and endocardium. The first one is the outermost layer, and it's very loose with fibrous tissue. The second one is outer covering, and it's, I guess, the third layer is the muscle wall, and the last one is the inner lining of the muscle wall. The chambers, there are 2 chambers. The top 2 chambers are the ardia, singular ardium, and the bottom 2 are ventricles. And yeah.
The atrium is the receiving chambers protected by flaps called auricles. The left atrium, which is on the right side of the paper, receives blood from the pulmonary veins. The right atrium, which is on the left side of the paper, receives blood from the upper body and upper and lower parts of the body. Blood from the upper body is returned through the superior vena cava. Blood from the lower body parts is returned through the inferior vena cava. Sorry for the fly. And blood from the lungs is returned through the pulmonary veins, which is kind of obvious because pulmonary and blood, which is kind of the same. Second part, which is the ventricles, which is the pumping chambers, is kind of like the bigger side part of the heart, I guess we could say, because they work more. But they're thicker than the atrium. They're separated by the septum, which is like in the middle. And the left ventricle is thicker than the right ventricle because the left ventricle pumps blood through to the entire body through the aorta. Pulmonary muscles, bands of muscles that help ventricles to contract. I said that a little bit too fast, my bad. And the cardiac tendae is tough bands that secure the pulmonary muscles.
Okay, valves. There are 4 different types of valves in the heart, but there's 2 of each. 2 atrioventricular, hopefully I said that right, valves, and 2 semilunar valves. The first one I can't pronounce. There are separate atria from ventricles. Left AV valve, also called mitral or bicuspid, cupid valves. Right AV valves, also called tricuspid valve. Semilunar, separate ventricles from great vessels. pulmonary semilunar valve is the right side. Leads to pulmonary arteries, also called pulmonary valve. Hopefully I said that right. Am I reading the right section? Yes. Aortic semilunar is left side, leads to aorta, also called aortic valve. Yeah. Conduction system and auxiliary tissue. Nodes are specialized tissue that carries electrical impulses from nerves. One of the first nodes is SA node. It's near the superior vena cava and right atrium. That's one of the hard words. Let's just call it AV node. An AV, can't even say that. AV node is near the septum of the heart. Purkinje, hopefully I said that right. Fibers, they are inside the septum. They carry impulses from vagus nerve. Bundle of his is a bundle of nerve tissue found in the septum, pronounced his.
Next, we are going to talk about the EKG and the heart pathology. The sounds of the heartbeats. The heartbeat is described as a lub-dub sound. Lub starts the contraction, is the start of the contraction, mitral closes, which means, well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, which means the mitral closes, aka the bicuspid. Dub is the end of the contraction, which means the aortic valves closes. So like lub-dub, like lub-dub. I don't know how to do this, but as it beats, either the top part closes and the bottom one opens, and then it goes in different opposite ways. Then is the cardiac cycle, which means the atria contracts simultaneously. Means atria relaxes, then the ventricle contracts. The two definitions we have for this is the two, we could say, words we have for this, like the meaning. Another way to describe this is systole and diastole. Systole means contraction, while diastole means relaxation.
Heart pathology. Cycles of a heartbeat. Heartbeats are measured by electrocardiograms, also known as EKG, ECG. This is a cycle broken into three parts: P wave, QRS wave, and the T wave. It's kind of a squiggly thing. Like things you see in a doctor's office. Yeah. That. What do the letters mean? The first one is P. Sorry. The first one is P. It lasts about 0.08 seconds. It's impulse from the SA node through the atria. Yeah. The next one is QRS. Anyways, it lasts the same amount of time as the P wave. results from ventricular depolarization, known as contraction. Last one is T. Oh, sorry. It lasts about 0.16 seconds and is caused by ventricular repolarization, and I guess it means like last but not least, cardiac pathology, which is a rapid heartbeat results from the heart having to work too fast. Why? Inadequate blood supply from the heart muscle itself, weakening of myocardium. And yeah. I think that's about it. Just gotta make sure. Yeah. Science.